We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Off to the Races is here a little bit differently this time. Now, with the recent strikes happening in Hollywood, we were talking about maybe doing a predictions video. We just don't know if it's necessarily the smartest thing to do with our time right now, considering that some of our choices may not even release this year. So, because of that, we thought, what about we talk about one of, if not the biggest cinematic phenomenon in years? Barbenheimer just happened this past weekend. We were all part of the festivities. It was a glorious day slash weekend to be a movie fan. And it is, it's one of the more memorable times at the movie theater since I'd say even Endgame all those years back, the culmination of what was a 10-year journey. Barbenheimer might just cap that for me. That's how great that day was.
Races.
Let me pass it over to Mr. Dan, the Barbenheimer man himself. What's up, Dan?
Hi, John. So happy to be here. So excited to talk about this because it was a cinematic phenomenon. Like, it was just so awesome seeing the cinema just lit up with all these kind of people. Just seeing these two movies supporting cinema and movies that are not superhero films, which is great too as well. So yeah, it was a very fun day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you saw it on Thursday. So right on opening day, you saw both of these movies. I saw it on Friday, and my theater was just eruptious, if that's even a word. I loved it. And Shawn, you celebrated Barbenheimer yesterday.
I did. And I'm so amazing. I mean, honestly, even on a Monday, the amount of energy and was insane. And also the theaters were sold out and everybody was, I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit later. There wasn't a lot of energy in the Barbie movie, but everyone was dressed up. So that was exciting.
Not a lot of energy in the Barbie movie. Really?
No. Yeah, no, unfortunately
wow.
not.
Yeah, we'll talk about that once we get to the Barbie portion here. Guys, this is how we're going to segment our show today. We're going to review one movie, and after we review that one movie, we're just going to go into its Oscar chances, the obvious categories for that specific film, and then we're going to move on to the next movie and do the exact same thing, then end of show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin this. We are going to start with the Barb from Barbenheimer, Barbie.
Ideas live forever. No.
I gotta pass this again to Dan. Dan has seen Barbie 3 times already.
Yes.
It is currently the Tuesday after the Barbenheimer phenomenon. 3 times already, Dan. Now listen, talk to me as to why you've gone to see it 3 times. What is it about this movie that has hit you and impacted you in such a way that you felt the need to rush to the theaters over and over again?
It's just, I don't know, it's just such a fun movie. It's just like energetic, even if the crowds might not be, because I actually experienced, like, one crowd was really good. Friday night's crowd was awesome. They were very eruptious, and then, Thursday night, here and there was some, some stuff, but I mean, I saw it Monday during the day, and there wasn't that many people in the theater, but there were some laughs there. So it was different each time, and Friday was an awesome experience. Thursday, I liked it a lot, so I actually probably would have given it a 4 out of 5 instead of a 4.5 out of 5, like I have it now on Letterboxd. The first time seeing it, and then I just loved it, and I was kind of down Friday night, and I was like, I'm just gonna try to go. It was hard to find seats. The theaters were all packed with both. I was happy to see both Oppenheimer and Barbie. A lot of people were seeing each.
Yeah.
And but I found one at a kind of a 30-ish minute away theater that I wanted to go to see if, because they had this pink popcorn, some of the Regals, and this was the only Regal with this pink popcorn. And I was like, it's probably sold out by now, but I'm gonna go check. And it was sold out the first night. But I still went, and it was a crowded theater. I had to park in a different plaza. But it's just the fans that theater especially just drew me in, and I had such a fun time. It's such a fun movie, energetic performances, really good. I think for the most part, we'll get into this more, well written, really good directed. So I don't know, it's just a fun movie.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. No matter what we say in this review, at least on my end, I'm going to keep on agreeing with that sentiment that it is very much a fun movie, if not one of the most fun movies of the year. I had a great time with it as well, Dan. But with that being said, I'm going to go to Shawn, who saw it yesterday, so it's fresh on your mind, a lot fresher than either of us. Shawn, you just agreed it's fun. Let's dissect this movie a little bit further. What worked for you? What didn't work for you?
So I might be a little bit different than everybody else. I was excited for the movie, and then when I got into the theater, I was like, okay, it's a packed theater. And then it was a strange kind of experience because the movie was going on, and I was like not digging it at first. I really did not like it. And that scared me because I'm like, am I going to be one of those people that just hates this film altogether? And then there was one moment when they go back to Barbie Land. So it was right after that midsection where they leave the real world and go into Barbie Land again. And then I just was like, I kind of gave myself up to this film. And I loved the little quirks that they were doing. It's a strange movie, and I don't think the story works all that well, and it's kind of a hot mess. But like, I had a giant stupid smile on my face, and I enjoyed the rest of the movie enough that I'm like, I want to go see it again to see if I like the beginning more the second time around.
I love what you said, and that you have to give yourself up to this movie. I told that to my wife, who ended up seeing the movie a few days later. I said, this is a movie you cannot take serious. This is a movie that, like you said, Shawn, you got to give yourself up to it. If you take it serious at any point, you might have a hard time grasping onto its concept, and a hard time finding yourself having a good time.
Right.
I had somebody say that it's a hot mess in the same way that Anchorman is a hot mess. Like when all the Anchormen are in the back alley, it's like, oh, sometimes they just fight. Sometimes they kind of just all huddle up and get into fights. And that insanity, nonsensicalness, that's Barbie.
Yeah.
And I was in it from the beginning. I'm a bit surprised you said the beginning didn't work for you, because it worked so well for me. Well, if there's a point where it didn't work for me, it had to be that third act. It had to be. It's not. I got to be honest. It's not the best story, like you said, Shawn. But it's because I felt like it was inconsistent in its tone and what it was trying to say. Right? It has nothing to do like, listen, now I'm going to get this out of the way. It's not the whole feminism thing about it. It's not. If from beginning to end, it was nothing but feminism, at least it was consistent. But I felt that what Greta Gerwig was trying to tell within this 2-hour movie was a story of how men rule the world is bad, women rule the world is bad. We need to find some sort of harmonious way to resolve this. I thought that was where we were going. At least that's the tone I was getting, until we get to a certain part where America Ferrera has her famous monologue. And from there on out, they just hit hard on just the one side more than the other. And it's not that I didn't like that one side. I just, it was kind of jarring, considering that I thought we were going to get sort of this level-headed duality of both patriarchy and matriarchy is bad. We need to find a new way to make things work. And they kind of don't by the end.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that the script itself is extremely conflicted in what it's trying to say. And maybe once I see it a couple more times, maybe I'll understand it a little bit more. But I get what you're saying. Is it's like it seems like they're going one way, and it's the way that makes the most sense in the story that they're trying to tell. And then all of a sudden, it's like Issa Rae is like, you don't get a spot on the Supreme Court. You know, like that was a little jarring for me. And it's like, what are you actually trying to say? Because you're trying to say something, and it's not coming together clearly. I do disagree, though, that besides the messaging of the film, I think the third act of the movie is the best. I think the Battle of the Kens is amazing. The Kenergy, or This Is Ken, I'm Ken, whatever that musical montage.
The Kenergy.
I feel like the movie really to its head in that third act, and that is when I fell in love with it. And I thought the end was beautiful, and then there was the funny little quip at the end. So there's so much I loved about the third act, but I do agree with you, John. I think that they just missed the mark on what kind of message they were trying to convey.
Yeah. And it was such a message-driven film that I couldn't get that past my head. Now, Shawn, I agree that there are moments within the third act that are amazing. My favorite part happens to be in the third act. The I'm Just Ken sequence is my favorite part of the movie. I adore it. I've had that song stuck in my head since Friday. It is my favorite part of the movie. But just because the third act has parts that I enjoy, I just felt the overall, the construction of the third act is what I don't like. Again, that first act, I thought was, this is what we are. This is what you're in for. Buckle up, pal. And I said, I've been buckled up, Greta Gerwig. I've been buckled up. I love it. Dan, what do you think of third act, first act, second act?
Yeah, so I loved the first act, and I liked the third act a lot. The middle act is where it's hard because I loved the Barbie stuff when we were in Barbie Land more. So I don't necessarily think I want more real world stuff, but the real world stuff kind of was a letdown, especially my first viewing. I've grown to like it a little more. I just thought it was so rushed and I feel like we should have seen more of the flaws and beauty of humanity to make it believable that Barbie would want to be a human after trying to just save Barbie Land. But then the third act, it was a little. The script is messy for the most, a lot of here and there with what they're trying to say, and that's why I really did not like the Issa Rae line, like you said, about you can't have a job in the Supreme Court. It was because literally she even said the Kens or Barbies, we don't want either of them living in the dark anymore, and then. And then she says that, and it wasn't funny. I didn't think it was funny. And then Helen Mirren has the whole, maybe one day that the Kens will have as much power as women do in the real world. So I thought that was like going against what they were trying to say and what they should have said. So I think it definitely could have been more cohesive in what it was trying to say.
To me, it almost felt like there was multiple people that had their say. Like, I feel like there might have been Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach's script, and then there were other people that were like, that doesn't work. I want to add my opinion into it. And then it's like they tweaked different things, like, oh wait, that didn't work, the Issa Rae line, so now we have to add Helen Mirren's narration on top of it. Like, it felt like there was a lot of opinions coming in, and not all of them mixed with what they were actually trying to say.
I think that the strongest aspect of Barbie is whenever it focused on humanity and the beauty and cruelties within humanity. I think that is when it worked best, because whenever it tried to tackle patriarchy and matriarchy is when the script did get messy. And I agree that the script it's very messy when it tries to touch on those aspects. Some moments are just incredibly funny concerning these topics, but yet when you ask somebody, what is one thing that you got out of Barbie that you just enjoy other than just the fun vibrancy of it all? For example, my wife, like, she says that she loves that ending monologue when Barbie decides, to go through with whatever decisions she had, right? Yeah. Whatever this, and then we get this beautiful montage with the Billie Eilish song. And it's about humanity. It's about like there's beauty in ugly places, and it's our job to kind of just go in and extract them out. And I felt that's when it really worked, right?
Yes.
And that's when the funniest parts were about. The funniest parts were when it was dealing with like that stuff, and I just wish it wasn't as messy. I think I said this in the group chat. It's almost as if some sort of higher up in the company had some say in the script. It wasn't just Noah Baumbach or Greta Gerwig, which I'm surprised because these two are two Hollywood powerhouses, Academy Award nominated directors / writers, and yet it feels like there's more than just their united voice because they're married.
Yeah.
What happened here? Why did it get so messy?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I want to go back to what you were saying about humanity, because the thing that I think worked the most, but also could have been a little bit better too, is like when America Ferrera came into that movie, I thought that she injected so much life into the film. And then the relationship with her and her daughter, I thought was beautiful. Like how it, you know, I don't want to give anything away, but it's just like seeing the relationship between the two of them, like how it grows, and then how that changes what Barbie thinks of the world, I think was really great stuff. And I actually think that the America Ferrera monologue is fantastic. I thought she was so good. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in our Oscar predictions. But I don't know. I thought that stuff really worked because it was touching upon the humanity of it all and like what it means to be human, the good and the bad. And like you said, I think that the matriarchy versus patriarchy stuff, even though it brought a lot of humor, it didn't have a clear vision behind it.
Yeah. Something that I agreed with my wife on is that as much as we love America Ferrera in this household, like she's a childhood name, okay? It was great to see her on the big screen. Her relationship with her daughter is played off to be more important than it's actually meant to be throughout the movie. Dan, you just nodded your head. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, that's what I said. I think they should have had at least a couple more scenes to show why they are struggling. Like, you know, and you know, so I definitely agree with that. They should have had more. They made it as if it was some way more important than it was.
It's the crux of the story.
Yeah.
It's the reason the story is happening, and it's the reason the story continues and ultimately gets resolved. And yet they don't get enough time to play off that importance, because what we get out of Barbie is just everything concerning Barbie and Barbie Land and her interactions with the real world. But aside from America Ferrera's monologue, you don't really get anything out of her and her relationship with her daughter.
Right. Or even her husband.
Cut them out.
Her husband felt like such a throwaway part that was annoying.
Here's the thing. Yeah. For a movie that not even at points, there's a whole act about how horrible Kens end up being.
Yeah.
Right? And yet here you have this man who we don't know anything about. You could have convinced me America Ferrera was divorced, but she's not. I don't think that's a spoiler because it doesn't even play a big part in the movie either way.
No.
It's just not in the trailer. And yet this man is hardly in this movie. And listen, there's just this really funny part in the movie. It's semi-spoilers, but not really. He's learning Spanish, and it's played off as a joke. My man, your husband is learning Spanish to learn to communicate with you and your daughter better. That's a great man right there. Why don't we talk about him?
Yeah. But
that's a king.
It's literally played off as a joke, and the character is just a joke in the movie. That's literally all he's there for. Where I just feel like the daughter, the husband, America Ferrera's character, all of them could have been like you said, John, they were almost the crux of the story and why Barbie is having this, existential crisis in her life. But because they're so underdeveloped, it also makes a lot of the things that happen in the movie feel underdeveloped as well.
No, yeah, totally agree. Now, man, aside from that, I still
Yes.
felt that this was such an enjoyable time. And yes, it can get messy, but I do feel that it ultimately finds its way. It
Mhm.
finds its way. Now, I compared this. It's a weird comparison, guys. Listen, a weird comparison. A Tootsie Roll Pop, right?
Okay.
Now, I don't like Tootsie chocolate. I think it's gross. I think it's fake chocolate. It's not
Agreed.
real, right? But I do like when I'm enjoying a Tootsie Pop, the sweetness of the lollipop, but then you get to the chocolate and I kind of just don't want the chocolate. That doesn't ruin the experience for me.
Mm.
That's Barbie. Yes, there is messiness at points, and yet it doesn't ruin the experience for me. I thought what Margot Robbie was able to do, and what Ryan Gosling was able to do, what Greta Gerwig was able to do, and directing them in such a nonsensical way was still applause worthy. And at the very most, we'll get into it, Oscar worthy.
Oh,
We'll
for
get
sure.
into it. We'll get into it.
I don't know exactly. I mean, like you said, we're gonna get into it. I don't know if it's gonna go as far as we thought it would in the Oscar race, but there's certainly great things about it. And one last thing I want to say, I don't know if we're finishing our Barbie part of this, but like my theater was completely silent during the movie, like during all of the comedy and everything. And I was cackling and laughing out loud and snorting. I thought the movie was hilarious, even from the very beginning. Like, I thought this movie was so funny. And I know it sounds like we might, hate this movie because there are a lot of issues with it. But at the end of the day, I don't care how messy the movie is. If I enjoyed it as much as I did, and just like I was sitting there during the credits, just with this giant smile, and I was just like, I want to go watch that again. To me, that means that the movie worked somehow, some way.
Exactly. It is a lived-in world with performances that made us laugh, it entertained us, and yet it was all wrapped around this beautiful message about finding worth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's what I got from it.
Should have stuck on is like finding your worth. Like that there's a moment at the end with Ken and Barbie when they're talking about like what they need to do, and that's what they should have stuck with, because that to me is what like really I was like, wow, like that is great. And then they try to go further, and it's like, stop going further. Like just stop while you're ahead,
I get that. Hey, we are enough, guys.
Yes, we are enough.
We are enough.
I want the hoodie.
I do too.
I'd love, yeah. Shawn, Barbie, out of 5.
It's funny because when I left the theater, I probably would have rated it a little bit higher. But now that I've had a day to sit on it, and after talking with you guys, I definitely see its flaws, and it's not a perfect movie. But I enjoyed it so much, and I will unapologetically say that. So I would give it a 3.75 out of 5.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to go ahead and say I ditto a lot of what you say. But I so very much loved what this movie was able to do for me. And so I give it a 4.25 out of 5. 4.25. It's high. It is. Unapologetically, I must say. Dan, you've seen it 3 times. What do you give it?
So I do echo everything. It's especially talking about it. I definitely see a lot more of the issues, but I just loved it and had so much fun with it. So I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5.
Ooh,
nice, even higher.
Yeah.
All good scores.
Yep.
All right, guys. How about we get into some Oscar chances here?
Yes.
All right. So we're just gonna talk about the obvious because there's no way Barbie's being nominated for best documentary feature, right? let's go. I have a grid here, and I'd like to just go down the list. Do we see Barbie possibly making it to best sound design?
No.
No, me neither. I don't see. I want to bring him up. You guys thought about it, so maybe. How about score?
No.
I don't see it either. I mean, it had a great soundtrack, but
yeah, if there was a best soundtrack Oscar, this would be a great. Yeah.
All right, we might stop here. I'm not sure. Editing.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I didn't think about it.
No.
No, I don't see it.
There were. I love some of the ways, especially the transition from Barbie Land to the real world. I thought that transitioned very nicely. And I mean the editing within I'm Just Ken dance sequence.
Yeah.
And the beach fight.
Yes, and
yeah, there's some moments.
But ultimately, are we just gonna say, but an outlier chance?
Yeah, I would say.
All right, so we're not even gonna put it for that.
Like if it was like we were picking like 6 through 10 honorable mentions, maybe.
Yeah. All right, production design.
100%.
100%.
It's
if Barbie does not, there's a few films on there. Maybe the next film we'll be talking about that might get it. I'm not saying it will. We'll talk about it. But there's no way Barbie misses out the top 5.
No way.
Especially, I mean, Dune 2 is not coming out right this year, and
well, we don't know yet. We don't know
yet, but it's a very possible chance that it's not.
So production design, Barbie's making it. I mean, I will bet that Barbie makes it.
It's one of the best things
makeup and hairstyling. Absolutely.
Like, what movie? First of all, they could have used CGI. They could have used like so many different things, but they went the practical route and they went with these amazing sound stages and like those painted backdrops and like it really was like so painstakingly done. It's just beautiful. I think it deserves the Oscar.
It reminded me of Mary Poppins at times, and like those kind of old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll admit it. I think it should win too for production design.
Unless
I think the only thing against it. Yeah, sure, but I think what's against it is the real world parts in the movie. That's the only thing against this. That's fair. That whenever it takes place in the real world, it's the real world.
But even the Mattel office,
like cool room.
That was like really interestingly done, and the heart-shaped, CEO office, like there's some cool things done there too. So I don't know. It's too good.
Yeah. Makeup and hairstyling.
Yes.
Yeah, making it. I see it too. Winning. We've got to see what else comes out.
I feel
like to see.
There's gonna be some good ones. Four things I feel like could get in for makeup and hairstyling.
It's Color Purple comes out this year. Color Purple.
Maybe, yeah.
Color Purple would be a great one. I mean, those are the two that come right off the top of my head right now.
But we definitely got it.
Possibly be amazing. Period drama.
Maybe, yeah. Easy one. Costume design.
Yes.
It's winning. It's winning.
It's gotta win.
It's winning.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen. It's winning. All right. Let's move on. Original song.
I could see a few. At least getting nominated.
What is okay? Now there have been times where 3 songs for a movie have been nominated.
Yeah,
I mean, Lion King, for example, Circle of Life, Hakuna Matata, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight? They all got nominated the same year. So multiple songs from Barbie can be nominated.
Yeah.
What is the one that will be, if anything?
I'm just Ken.
I disagree.
I'm thinking, even though I'm not a big fan, Billie Eilish's song.
Billie Eilish's song, yeah. She already won an Oscar.
Yeah.
The Academy loves her. They gave it to her over Lin-Manuel Miranda, who was like on a high from the Encanto train.
Yeah.
But
it's during a really emotional part in the movie.
Yeah, that too.
I'm Just Ken though is a good. I'm Just Ken.
That is the one that everyone is going to remember though. Like if you walk away from Barbie, you will not forget I'm Just Ken or Ryan Gosling's performance. I don't know if he's going to get Best Supporting Actor or Best Supporting Actor. But
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, but you're going to remember that song.
Remember in Encanto, you would think that about We Don't Talk About Bruno should have been nominated then by that.
Yeah.
But it didn't get popular until the nominations were already going through. Like people were already voting. So we have a long way to go until Oscar season. That song's going to stay in people's memory.
Yeah. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I think if I had to wave one way or the other, I'll give it to Billie Eilish. But I do think I think I'm Just Ken and the Billie Eilish song will both make it.
Oh, really? Nice. Yeah.
I'm Just Ken is the best song of the movie. Hands down. You can't convince me. You can't convince me otherwise. I'm Just Ken is the best song of that movie. Is it silly? Yes, but it is the best song of that movie.
100%.
So I'd say both of them are going to get in. But if anyone had to get in, it's
what
going to
be
Billie
Dua
Eilish.
Lipa?
I love that song.
She's in the movie too.
I love that song.
That was my outlier. Because it's such big in the marketing and it's a big scene, and so that was my third one that I was gonna put.
Yeah, Dance the Night Away. I love that song. I listen to it a lot.
Me too.
It just depends on how the campaigning song-wise goes, because I think even now, I'm Just Ken is campaigning itself.
Yeah. And they released a clip before the movie came out. I decided not to watch it because I wanted to wait to experience it in the theaters. But they released the clip of that song before the movie even came out. So like I feel like it's they are gonna push that. I don't know. I see it one winning.
Oh, I hope. I love that song, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go to one of the top one, guys. Adapted screenplay.
No.
Oh.
I said yes, even though I do have the issues with the screenplay. I said yes because of who it is.
I'm going to say yes because of who it is. It's Greta Gerwig and it's Noah Baumbach. It's both of them together. Even though it's messier screenplays have made it in. Don't Look Up, anybody?
Dude, people have been giving a shit for our Don't Look Up hate, but there is a valid statement about how messy that movie's screenplay and editing are, and it still got nominated. So,
and this movie is just solid white, clean compared to that screenplay.
Yes, you're not wrong.
Now, if the next movie's coming out, if Poor Things does well, if The Color
Killers
Purple
of the
does
Flower
well,
Moon, adapted
that's making it.
Is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. But the reason we're not here predicting categories is because we don't know if any of these films are going to be delayed or not. Now, if they're not, then we can come back here and really put our bets on if Barbie makes it in or not. But in a world where I'm not sure if things get delayed, if Dune gets delayed, then Barbie's making it.
There's a good chance, yes.
Yeah.
But it really
at least
depends.
A good chance.
With Poor Things, they just delayed it until December, which I think was a really, I know we're not talking about Poor Things right now, but I think that that was a really smart decision. And
that's a real Oscar player.
So, exactly. I can see some movies trying to push themselves later on into the year, hoping that the SAG strike is done by then.
Yeah. Actress in a supporting role.
I said America Ferrera.
America Ferrera. I do.
I think she's a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. But she's my most, one.
Dan's a little bit more optimistic than me, but I agree with Dan that I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think I wouldn't say she's in my top 5, but she would definitely be in my outliers. Like she'd be in my 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know,
Yeah.
I think that monologue, everyone's talking about it. I think she performed it so well.
Yeah.
I
really
think that
like
they're, like we said,
It's just
her part is the crux of the story. I took a lot away from that performance.
And then, and even at the bit at the end when she's talking about normal Barbie,
Yeah.
that part's pretty. Yeah.
I still don't see it, guys. I don't see the Academy awarding Ferrera with the nominations for this role, even with that monologue. Now, we can compare monologues all we want. There have been actors that have gotten into the Oscars with just a monologue in a movie and out. Last year, Judd Hirsch had a monologue in The Fabelmans and made it. But it's Judd Hirsch.
But it's America Ferrera.
To us,
I don't know
to
what
us, but not to the Academy.
She won Emmys, right? Or at least got nominated for Betty.
Betty, I'm not sure if she's a winner. I know that she's been nominated. I think she's been around for a long time, and she deserves her dues. She's still a younger actress, but she's been around for a damn long time. And this is a great role for her. She's one of my favorite parts of the movie. I think it's a long shot, but I think it could happen. And it also depends, like you said, John, on what happens later on in the year. If we're talking about if a lot of movies are going to get delayed, like we're not going to see The Color Purple or The Holdovers or certain things, I could definitely see America Ferrera getting in. It just depends on how the rest of the year goes.
So it's a yes for Shawn, a no for me. Dan?
Ooh, I'm still going to go with the no.
Okay. Cinematography.
No other actresses in the movie?
No.
Not supporting.
Yeah.
No.
Although some people were thinking Via Perlman, but I don't know.
Who?
Via Perlman, the Ruth.
The creator of Barbie.
Yeah.
I loved her role in this movie. I did. She was one of the stranger characters in the film, but I don't see that happening.
Let's move on. Cinematography.
Yes. I could see it. Maybe. I didn't put it in my letterbox thing, so I didn't think maybe, but
there's a good chance, I think.
On Jonathan's list, yes. I'll go ahead and say yes.
Okay,
I think
the Oscars as well.
Usually, cinematography and editing go hand in hand, though.
It does.
A lot of the time. So the fact that I'm saying no on editing and yes on cinematography, it might be wrong, but I do think it might have a little bit of a better chance in cinematography.
The I'm Just Ken sequence. Amazing cinematography.
Oh, yeah.
The tracking shot of Ryan Gosling as he's just walking forward and the camera's kind of just tracking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. I love that song.
He's obsessed.
Don't copyright me, YouTube. Let's talking about Ryan Gosling acting a supporting role.
Ryan Gosling, I don't say yes anymore though.
I don't either.
I did before I seen it.
Okay, I'm gonna use the same thing that I've been saying about the delays. If enough films get delayed, I do see a chance where Ryan Gosling makes it on.
Yes,
I do.
Yeah.
But if they don't get delayed, if these films keep coming out with a punch and a bang, then I see him slowly becoming an outlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That being said,
okay, continue. Sorry.
No, you're good because I was gonna end it, so you continue.
Oh, I want to. Yeah, my thing is would he be supporting or would he be best actor?
No, it would be supporting.
If he goes for best supporting, which I think he should, even though he does have quite a large role in the film.
He does.
I think that he definitely could get in. It's one of those supporting roles like a Melissa McCarthy in Bridesmaids, or just that role that no one forgets.
That's true.
Because it's just so effing funny. And he's just that, I mean, everyone says it. It's that bright spot of a movie. And without that one actor doing that performance,
That's 100%.
The movie would not be as great as it is.
Bro,
So,
you might, dang it, dude. You might have just convinced me.
there's a really good chance. If it's
It's a
supporting.
really good chance. Funnily enough, I saw Bridesmaids last week.
For the first time?
For the first time. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
No.
I did. I thought it was a great film. But here, it got nominated for screenplay.
Yeah.
And Melissa McCarthy got nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go crazy here. I think Barbie has a better screenplay, and I think what Ryan Gosling does in Barbie is better than what Melissa McCarthy does in Bridesmaids.
Oh, you're going a little crazy there.
Oh, I'm just being real. Listen, and I got recency biased on me. I saw them both around the same time.
True. It's true. I mean, I've seen Bridesmaids about 100 times. I love that movie. I think what Ryan Gosling does is extremely special in Barbie, and it is a performance that will be talked about for years to come.
Shawn, yes or no?
I think I convinced my own self, and I'm going to say yes.
I'm gonna say yes.
You know what? You convinced me too. I'm gonna say yes.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Margot Robbie, actress in a leading role.
No.
No.
No. I had her as my I very much doubt it. But yeah, no.
Guys, we talked about this a couple of times. We talked about this a couple of times. These last 3 years off to the races, the leading actress category is stacked every freaking year. She's not making it, I think.
But
Babylon.
I don't want to her performance is so good in this movie. I don't want to not give her credit.
Yeah. Nah, these are just Oscar chances here.
Yeah.
Not rubber duckies chances, just Oscar chances.
Yeah.
Big no. One of the most stacked categories in the Oscars, not gonna make it. Greta Gerwig, director. Yes or no? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I don't think so.
Hasn't she got nominated for all her films so far?
No, so Greta Gerwig was nominated Best Director for Lady Bird, but not for Little Women.
Yeah.
Okay. And then writing?
Screenplay for Little Women.
But she got nominated for both, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't look at Lady Bird because you were on there, so I thought you were looking at Lady Bird.
I think
and then I know Lady Bird was nominated for Best Picture. I don't know about Little Women.
So was Little Women, yeah.
Yeah, Little Women was nominated Best Picture.
I mean, damn. For someone who's directed 4 movies, for 2 of them to be nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, so Greta Gerwig has been nominated for Lady Bird, writing-wise, Little Women, writing-wise. And she's been nominated directing-wise for Lady Bird. So she has a two streak.
Yeah,
with writing.
Shawn, you like both of those movies, right?
I love both of those movies.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I just feel that I was just telling Dan this. I personally, I love Lady Bird, but I think Little Women is better than Lady Bird. I think it is the best iteration of Little Women, and I think it's a better movie than Lady Bird. Yeah.
Lady Bird, I just connect with on on so many levels. I love Lady Bird. It's probably top 50 for me.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. For me personally, her best film, she couldn't even get it in directing wise. I don't think she's going to get in for Barbie. I feel like Barbie's going to find a lot of flack these next couple of weeks.
It will. I mean, it's already getting the flack, and we can go into that or not, but I think it's going to get a lot of hate because it's doing so well. But at the end of the day, I do think that the production design, the costume design, and some of the performances speak for themselves.
I'm still going yes.
You're going yes?
Yeah.
I'm going to go no, but I could be wrong. Once again, we'll have to see how the year goes. But right now, I'm going to say no for Greta Gerwig for both screenplay and directing.
I agree. I am going to say no for Greta Gerwig. I think if any female is getting in this year, it is Celine Song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now let's get into Best Picture. Chances on Barbie getting into Best Picture out of 10, yes or no?
No.
I am going to say no.
Yeah.
No.
I wanted to, but
In a year when movies get delayed, maybe. But if not, no. No.
I mean, it's in all of our top 10s, but it's not probably going to be in the Oscar top 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, no.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I really don't think so, guys. It's already getting flagged. I don't think this is the kind of movie that the Oscars award with a Best Picture nomination, but it's definitely one that I can see them award with a writing nomination. That's where I think its strongest night will be, is being nominated for writing.
I think it's going to be the technical.
Ooh.
And also how much money it made.
Yeah, for real. It's the Top Gun of this year.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I guess we all said no for Best Picture. Barbie. All right. How about this now, guys? Let's move from this beautiful pinkish landscape and move into a more melancholy tone as we talk about Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Truman needs to know what's next.
2.
What's next?
1.
A 3-hour film, and we all sat through it. I'd like to pass this one over to Shawn because he just saw it a day ago.
This movie, and I know everyone has said these words already. This is not.
Oh, hold on, because I want to say this. We kind of knew each other's thoughts going into this about Barbie. I have no idea what Shawn's about to say. No idea. So Shawn, continue.
Like I said, a lot of people have said this about Oppenheimer, but it blew me away, and that's like the only thing that I could think of after watching the movie is like so few times, and especially this year so far, because I think it's been a good year for movies. There's been a lot of really good movies, but no movies that have like literally made me tear up and give me goosebumps and send shivers up my spine. And Oppenheimer did all of those things. And to me, those kind of emotions are what I'm looking for when I am watching a movie. And that is what Oppenheimer provided. It is not a perfect movie. I think that it is maybe a half an hour too long.
Name me a movie that's perfect.
I actually think that the third act is fantastic, where I know a lot of people think that the third act was the more boring part or whatever. I was like, I think the first act is the one that could have been cut a little bit. So I disagree with people on that, but holy shit, you guys. Like, I was floored. And after the movie, I just sat there in my seat, like kind of shaking a little bit and just being like, I just saw something really fucking special.
Yeah, Shawn, we are on the same page about how we feel about Oppenheimer here. It is something special. I had said that this is a film that leaps the medium forward. Mm-hmm. It is 150%. A film. It is a film that reinforces the idea that filmmaking is high art and not just mindless popcorn films. It is high art. I go as far as to say that this is Christopher Nolan's masterpiece, still knowing that he has a filmography of The Dark Knight. He has Dunkirk.
Interstellar.
He has Interstellar. He has films like Memento and The Prestige.
Inception.
And yet,
Inception.
and of course, Inception. I love that film. And yet, guys, and yet, this is, in my mind, his masterpiece. I feel that from the very beginning, Nolan has been inching closer and closer to get to where he can expertly pull off a film like Oppenheimer, and he has. For me, he is truly a master at his craft, and it is evidenced by this film more than the other ones, in my opinion. I'm not putting those films down. Please, if anything, see this as me putting those films up, but just seeing Oppenheimer as higher, because it truly is a technical masterpiece.
Yes.
Right?
There is no doubt about that. And Dan, I can't wait to hear your thoughts. I just want to throw one thing else out. I'm going to say that I think Interstellar is his masterpiece still. But everyone's going to disagree about what his best movie is. But he took the biopic, which I'm sorry, but biopics are so tired nowadays. And I was talking to one of my other film friends, and he kind of said that he gave this movie a 5.5 out of 10 and said it was a typical Hollywood biopic.
Not at all.
And I was like, I respect your opinion, but I don't understand that at all, because this is so far from what anyone has done with the biopic before. It is so vibrant and so full of intense energy, and it's slowly building up. And even though it's 3 hours long, it's not a slow movie, in my opinion. It's just constantly intense, and it's unlike any biopic I've seen before. So I do think Christopher Nolan has almost perfected the biopic here.
Yeah, true. Yeah, probably. I really feel that there are these themes woven within about the necessity of the atomic bomb, politically and morally. And he's able to do this in such a way where we, through the eyes of Oppenheimer, see the beauty of his creation juxtaposed with its ultimate destructive nature, and it will bring to this world.
Beautiful.
Bro, Dan, get me out of this. Get me out of this. Tell me why you hate this movie.
No, I think it's crazy that your friend said that it's just a run-of-the-mill biopic, because I even say this in my review. So historical epics and stuff are not really my thing. So that just sings praises to this movie. That sings praises to it more, that I actually really liked Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much technical aspects. There's haunting parts that almost get to horror-ish.
Yes.
It's so well done, and the bomb scene. Like I said this, I had tears in my eyes as well. It was just such amazing to experience that in a theater. I felt like you said, Shawn, that I really am experiencing something very special. And one of my favorite things, that's going to go down as one of my favorite Nolan scenes, but also my favorite cinematics. One of my favorite cinematic scenes. I just thought that was so well done. And yeah, there were tears in my eyes. I was holding my breath. And then the audio mix was so perfect at that moment, how it kind of faded in fast. And so, yeah, I really did like the movie. I'm one of the people about the third act, but that's more because it comes after the bomb. So it's the bomb set the standard so high. And I did really like the third act. That's where Robert Downey Jr. gives, which we'll get to later. Robert Downey Jr. gives his best stuff. He's great.
And Emily Blunt.
Yes, and Emily Blunt finally gets her scene. Yeah, and of course, Cillian Murphy's just amazing. This is he's out.
I didn't touch on it. I also want to touch on the third act. I love the third act. If there is a weak act, it's going to be the first one for me as well, and yet I still like it. The third act is this just inner turmoil of Cillian Murphy's amazing performance as Oppenheimer, as he's trying to find repentance, I say penance, for his creation, and he never does. And no matter how far and how long he seeks repentance, he can never seem to find it, and how that just messes with him personally, and how outwardly it ruins his relationships and his image to the American public.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I loved the juxtaposition of like him creating something beautiful, but something that destroy worlds.
Exactly, Dan. There's this one scene where a very famous actor cameos, and it's played to comedic effect, but it's truly what he's going through when he says, "Don't let that crybaby come in here."
Yeah.
Because that's what he's going through, that third act. Like, he's breaking apart, where he is hearing the vibrations of the bomb and seeing these horrific imageries of people being blown to bits because of him. And while he's trying to make amends with himself, we get other people who are trying to discredit his name other ways. It is so dynamic, guys. I think it is Nolan's best screenplay.
I think there's been some complaints about people saying that the movie is very clinical, it's very cold. And I would say that about the first act.
Maybe.
And then going into the second act. But that third act, and why I love it so much, is not only is it like it's filled with like political intrigue and like almost like conspiracy, but then it adds that emotional oomph that I needed from the movie to really connect with it on a mental and emotional level. And that's what that third act gave me. And that's when I was like, this is cinema here.
Yes. Actually, I agree. I like the third act. You guys are convincing me. I always liked it, but it's just, that's a really good point. All those points. Yeah, I liked it. It was really good. It finished off really well.
Nolan did a great job.
The final scene too. Oh my god.
The best scene. Dude, it left me, bro. It left me like, I was like, I'm about to cry right now.
Yeah.
Right? Just impacting wise. It's not sad for anyone who hasn't seen Oppenheimer. It's not sad per se. It's just very impacting. They bring something back around and you're like, oh, what? That's amazing. I love that last line. And Nolan did us justice, man, by casting Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer. One of his first leading roles, correct? Like one of his bigger leading roles. He killed it, guys. No, listen. When I mean he killed it, I don't mean he did good. No, I mean he killed it. Bro, no, listen. You're not taking me serious. He killed it.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. To me, this is like Kate Blanchett in Tar. Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like the finest performances of all time. Like I want to go back like in time and just like really think about those performances those lead performances that were just so all encompassing that they became that character. Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. This is that performance.
Yes.
I feel like Cillian Murphy is still haunted by the role.
100%.
I know. Yeah.
Now, speaking of roles, I'd like to get to one of my biggest cons in the film. And that is the way that Nolan characterizes the female supporting roles in this movie.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, guys.
It's
never
far
been from it.
Yeah,
I've heard it. I've always heard that. And this movie kind of just proves it.
Yeah.
It proves it. Emily Blunt is probably one where you can make your defense because she has a great scene in the courtroom that everybody in my theater clapped.
Yep.
It was damn good. And she's one of the best performers of her time. She deserves an Oscar, but
absolutely. And she's present throughout the whole movie. Throughout the whole movie, she's present. She is there, whether she has a scene or she's in the background. But I just feel that she isn't written with enough prowess to cement her importance in the story.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I found sometimes it was hard to. I didn't know if she loved Oppenheimer, hated him. If she loved being a mother, hated being a mother. Like it just seemed so random. They just kind of, yeah. So I definitely agree about the.
All we knew about her is that she's a drunk, and that she wanted him to fight more when he would always step down. She was kind of like his backbone. Which I think is extremely important, but like they could have built that up more. That was extremely underdeveloped, that relationship.
Yeah.
Now, you can have a defense for Emily Blunt, but speaking of underdeveloped, this is
Florence
where this is where I think I'm gonna have a hard time listening to any defense. Florence Pugh is underdeveloped. She is a romantic foil to Oppenheimer. And yet nothing when all is said and done.
Yeah.
The only thing that she means to the story is what ends up being her fate. And that's the only thing that is important to the story. Her as a character is so just, it's not enough. And he did Florence Pugh a disservice. And he did that character a disservice, I think.
For a character that has such an importance to Oppenheimer's life that it gets a visceral reaction in the film, it didn't get it for me.
Yeah.
When what happened, the way it happened was shocking. But when it happened, I'm like, okay. Could we not have taken some liberty here and write that character's attributes into Emily Blunt's instead?
I mean, we're trying to go with history, so we need to
I get it. It's not going to be faithful to history. That's true. But Shawn, for the sake of the film, could we have not taken some liberties and maybe just implemented that with Emily Blunt's character?
They also go into a lot of detail about like why Oppenheimer is such a controversial figure, and one of the reasons is because he is a womanizer, and that is another point that why her character is important, but it doesn't give Christopher Nolan a pass for just letting that character be so one note and underdeveloped.
I mean, he has a third affair by the end of the film. Not a big spoiler. Trust me. You blink and you miss it. Yeah, you blink and you miss it. And plus, it's history.
I think I missed it.
Dan, there you go. Dan is living proof that it's not a spoiler. But there is a third affair, and they kind of just brush over it too.
Yeah.
My other point was, or just don't cast Florence Pugh, and have a few different girls with less screen time. So at least you get that he's a womanizer, and we don't care, you know.
I guess the whole thing about Florence Pugh is that she plays such a big part in his young life and understanding who he was and what values he attaches himself to.
Mm-hmm. The character is important, but you wouldn't think it from the screenplay.
No,
absolutely. But that's my only gripe with the film.
And it's
my only gripe. Oh, no. I love a good 3-hour movie.
Yeah, so
I love a good 3-hour movie. It makes me feel like I'm in a journey. Please, more 3-hour movies for me.
No.
Yes. More 3-hour movies.
No, I don't even want the 3-hour movies. I want to be 3-hour movies.
The Marvels, 3 hours.
Oh, okay. No, I'm joking. Although I am kind of excited. But anyway. Yeah, but surprisingly with me is I usually always feel the length. For the first 2 hours especially, I was surprised that 2 hours had passed.
Wow.
In Oppenheimer. And then the bomb happened. And maybe that's the third act. I felt the length a little bit more. Kind of some in the first act and some in the third act. But I was surprised about how much I didn't feel the length as much as I thought I was going.
What did you guys feel about the carousel of A-list actors just showing up in the movie?
Absolutely insane. Like
Yeah.
it
That
was
crazy.
so overwhelming. Like I literally, if I had someone next to me, I would have been, oh, look, it's Michael Angarino. Look, it's like Benny Safdie. Like the whole entire movie. It's insane.
The whole entire movie is full of it. Guys, it's not even A-list actors. I think you guys will know. Josh Peck is in this movie from
Yes.
Drake and Josh.
I know.
I don't know if Shawn, this might be after your time, but Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid
Yes.
is in this movie.
Olivia Thirlby from Juno is in it. It's like all of these actors that I really haven't seen in a while show up. I was just like shocked by the
It's
amount
kind of
of.
like it's not the same exact thing, but like Harry Styles was in Dunkirk, and that seems like
Yes.
such an odd. Yeah.
So yeah, imagine Harry Styles, but duplicated about 50 times.
Yeah.
It was
I knew
crazy.
Josh Peck. I knew Josh Peck was going to be in the movie, and I was excited for that. And I'm happy that Nolan gave him the chance. What really shocked me was to see the actor that played Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I could
Yeah.
not believe that Nolan cast him.
There's a
I
meme
agree with
that
The actor who shocked me with how great he was Josh Hartnett. I thought Josh Hartnett was great in this movie. I was like, first of all, where has he been? Second of all,
Black Mirror.
yeah, he's good.
Mhm. We just saw him in Black Mirror.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
He's
he
coming
was
back.
just there. He's coming back, baby. No, I thought he was great in the movie too.
Yeah.
They got, I don't know his name, but he's the one that plays the elf from the Santa Claus. He's in this movie.
oh Bernie.
Yeah, Bernard, right? Bernard.
David Barinholtz? No, I don't know. Never mind.
No, I don't know his name, but I think it's Bernard from
Yeah.
the Santa Claus is in this movie.
Rami Malek in a part
Rami
that I
Malek.
was just like, whoa,
I
like,
got it.
is he gonna say
Yeah.
words?
Yeah.
Alden
I thought
Ehrenreich.
that wasn't Rami Malek because of that. Like I was like,
Yeah.
no, they wouldn't have Rami Malek in here, and he's barely saying anything. But then he started.
Bro, they got Einstein in this movie, bro.
I know.
Who is that actor? Because he's literally Einstein. Like,
Yeah.
Bro,
He's,
I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm gonna tell it like this, and you guys will know what I'm saying. Toward the end of the movie, when the antagonist's plan gets foiled, we find out from Alden Ehrenreich that there is a young diplomat that is against what the antagonist is for. And he asks, who is he? And he says his name, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The moment that happened, I said, Oppenheimer, this guy, Einstein, is this like an Avengers movie?
Yeah.
You know, Oppenheimer even has like a Nick Fury getting dressed kind of scene where he gets this, he puts the hat on and he gets the smoking pipe and everything.
This is high art Avengers.
Yes.
Dan with the fedora. What do you give Oppenheimer out of 5?
So right now, I'd say I would give it a 4 out of 5. With this discussion and a rewatch, I might be seeing it in 70mm IMAX in a couple weeks. It could raise up, and I do think that this is a better movie than Barbie. Even though, yes, I said that I liked Barbie more.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
You always say, Dan, that you grade movies based on your enjoyment level, and I appreciate that about you. You know, so yeah, you enjoyed Barbie more, so I get the score.
Yes. Yeah.
Take it away, Shawn.
Besides the issues that we talked about here with Oppenheimer, the issues with the female characters who deserved more, just more of an impact in this screenplay. And then also just the length a little bit. I think it could have been a little bit shorter and it would have been okay. Besides that, this is cinema at its finest. It's Christopher Nolan at the top of his game. I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
All right. Now that's very high.
Nice.
That's very high. I've got to say, this is totally technical mastery. Mastery from Christopher Nolan here. And what he was able to do is truly just bringing in a new age of cinema on the screen. Yes, I have some issues with the way that he writes his female roles, and yet that is still not able to bring down my love for this movie, I want to end this by saying that one of the definitions of masterpiece is a piece of work by a craftsman accepted as qualification for membership of a guild as an acknowledged master.
Yeah.
This is Christopher Nolan's masterpiece. This is a 5 out of 5.
Woo! Ooh. That's amazing. I love it. Just give me chills.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, let's get into Oscar chances for Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Best sound design, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. It's probably gonna win.
Times, yes. Yeah.
It's probably gonna win. It's probably gonna win.
Yeah. Especially if Dune 2 gets.
Like
delayed,
Dan said, the bomb scene, even that, just the way that sound was designed, it is insane. It brings you right in.
Yeah, and I know people have issues with Nolan sometimes with his score and his dialogue, but I just think that makes up for it anyway. Yeah.
Original score, yes or no?
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's gonna win.
Yeah, it's gonna win.
That one I'm a little bit more iffy on, but it's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, I'm iffy on it as well, but I think I could see it win.
I could see it too. Yes. Again, especially if Dune gets
So score, yes or no? I'm gonna go absolutely gonna get nominated, yes, and it could win.
Yes.
Agreed.
Editing. I'm gonna say absolutely gonna be nominated, and it could win.
I think it's gonna get nominated at least. Yeah.
Yes, especially with the amount of timeline differences and how they're able to connect that with the black and white and the color. I think 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Production design, yes or no?
Yes. For Los Alamos.
100%. It's getting in. I don't know if it's gonna win, but it's getting in.
Barbie wins.
Makeup and hairstyling. I say yes, it gets in.
I could see it getting in. Yeah, it's a little bit down there, but
I see it getting in. Winning? No, absolutely not. Not a chance in hell.
I could see it getting in.
I don't know about this one. I'm gonna say no for this one.
Okay, but two yeses to a no.
Yeah. So
okay.
It wins.
It's getting in.
Yeah.
Costume design. I'm gonna say no.
No, yeah.
But it has, the famous Oppenheimer getup. Everybody's wearing it now, so who knows?
Yeah,
Joker got costume design. Costume design.
Oh, wow.
And it's period. So, once again, it really depends on things like Poor Things and Saltburn. Are we going to see these movies later on in the year?
True.
Dune.
I'm going to say it could get in. It could get in, but I'm going to say no for now.
For which one?
Costume design.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so no. Adapted screenplay.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
It could win. It
could win. I could see it win. Maybe.
All right. Actress in a supporting role for either Florence Pugh or Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. If it's going to be someone, Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt, I'm going to say yes, but I'm very hesitant because, again, I don't think she was that amazing in the movie, but she does have that scene in the courtroom. She could get in. I'm going to go ahead and say Emily Blunt. Yes, supporting actress.
I'll say Emily Blunt. Yes.
Cinematography. Yes. Now, Shawn, you mentioned earlier cinematography and editing kind of go hand in hand. My guy, Nolan made black and white film stock for this movie. It's literally creating history.
Yeah.
It's going to be nominated for... Yeah, exactly. Actor in a supporting role, Robert Downey Jr., yes or no? 100%. Robert Downey Jr. could win. Big time.
Yes. I hope
big time. If Robert De Niro doesn't live up to the hype, Robert Downey Jr. is going to have that narrative behind him of a first-timer who should have gotten it a long time ago. That's going to help him. And I think not only is he making it, there's a good chance that he could win. And on my personal ballot, he's my number one.
Has he not been nominated before?
Yeah, of course he's been nominated. He's been nominated for Chaplin in the 90s, and he was nominated for Tropic Thunder in 2008.
Oh, yes. Okay. But never won.
Never won.
Never won. Yes. So the narrative is great. He was not on my radar at all. I thought he was going to have a much smaller part in this film, based on the trailers and everything. But holy crap, he blew me away in this movie. I thought he was so good.
Totally, my guy.
So good.
Totally. So yeah, he's getting in and he's winning on our ballots.
Yeah.
I forgot about Robert Downey Jr. when you said that, but Robert De Niro.
Yeah. I'm not gonna skip this, but we could. Actor in a leading role. Yes. Cillian Murphy is making it and he's winning.
Winning. Yes, winning, please.
Unless there's something crazy that happens, I would be heartbroken if he did not win for this performance.
I'm telling you, I'm going to say right now, just for the sake of looking back, he's winning. Just for the sake of looking back, I'm going to say it. He's winning the Oscar for Best Actor.
Yes.
Christopher Nolan directing.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And I think this could be the year that he wins his first Oscar.
I hope.
Yeah.
I think this could be the year he wins his first Oscar.
There's enough momentum for this film. Enough people have seen it. Obviously, it did fantastic at the box office this last week. I really feel like this is the perfect film for him to win Best Director in. Sorry, Martin Scorsese, it happened for you, but Christopher Nolan also has, it's his time to win an Oscar for director.
Yes. And guys, we're going to end it with Best Picture. Yes or no?
Yes.
Oppenheimer right now could win Best Picture.
It's in the top. I'll put it in the top. Yeah, there's a good chance.
I'm just scared for the campaigning. I'm scared for the campaigning. That's my biggest thing, because I feel that if they were able to campaign this, I think, man, they'll campaign the heck out of this movie, guys. But then you have movies like Past Lives that everybody's loving. Even though I'm kind of 3.5 out of 5 on it. And
I'm right there
then
with you, John.
I
really like the movie a lot, but is it anywhere near as cinematic and as memorable and as No, as Oppenheimer, absolutely not even close.
As everyone was saying beforehand, it's not that it's good. It's just
I want to manifest this, guys, if I can.
Yeah.
I want it to be Killers of the Flower Moon versus Oppenheimer. And that would be a race I'd love to talk about all season with you.
I know.
Yeah. Yep, and I can see that happening. 100%.
Yes, definitely.
So Oppenheimer's gonna clean up this Oscar season.
I know. Did we give it everything besides Best Documentary? We'll just throw that one to it too. You can have Best Documentary.
There is some German, so maybe we can put in Best International Feature. I think we have truly said all there needs to be said, but I want to open the floor if you guys have some closing thoughts.
No, I think
it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
I just have to say, just as a whole, Barbenheimer was such a good experience. And I think maybe more than people even realize, because this started being pushed Barbenheimer before both of the movies had come out and people had seen them. But these movies actually go together very interestingly well. And there's a lot of conversation that can be had about the messages in Barbie and the messages in Oppenheimer and what they mean. Seeing them next to each other, it's quite interesting.
Yes,
I agree.
So good to see the cinema on live. And people were wearing Barbenheimer shirts. People were dressed as both. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And Hollywood is going to get the idea that we just need to put two opposite movies together on the same.
Did you guys hear what they're doing with Paramount?
No.
Okay, Saw 10 is coming out the same day as Paw Patrol, and they're calling it Saw Patrol.
Yeah.
Saw Patrol. Yep.
Paw Patrol. And that's different because adults aren't going to go to Paw Patrol. Adults would go to Barbie.
Or vice versa. Like, children are not going to see Saw 10.
Children are not going to go see Saw 10. That's a little bit too far, guys. We need to bring it back a little bit.
There's apparently there's Wonka and Napoleon. So apparently
that's not going to be the same.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
Me neither.
I think it's better than Saw Patrol.
It makes more sense than Saw Patrol. Makes more sense. Ladies and gentlemen, what a talk we've had here today. Barbenheimer was truly an event for the ages. If you missed it, I feel so bad for you, but guess what? It is still in theaters. Make up for it this weekend. Watch it this weekend. You will not regret it. Two polar opposite films that go so well together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's all I gotta say. I think that's all I gotta say. And concerning Oscar chances, down in the comments below, let us know concerning both movies. What are gonna be some of the categories that it's going to win, in your opinion? Going to win. But my friends, I must say that as always, lovely to be here with you and to see Dan with a hat. We don't see that a lot.
No.
And keep a lookout. Keep a lookout because Off to the Races season 3 started about a month ago. We got a video out for that. So go check us out there. And guys, you have anything else to say before we end this?
I would love to. I definitely hope that next month in August, we're going to have a little bit more of an understanding of all of the films that are going to be delayed, what movies are staying. The Toronto International Film Festival and the Venice Film Festival just announced their films. So there are a lot of movies that are still coming out on the festival circuit that I hope are going to be coming out in time for the end of the year and to hit that Oscar deadline. So, I'm really hoping we're going to see a race, an exciting race this year, and not everything gets delayed. But I think we'll have a better understanding of what's going to be happening for the rest of the season next month. So hopefully you'll be seeing another episode of Off to the Races then.
Yes.
Hopefully. And then, will the fedora stay or no?
Maybe sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta support Oppenheimer.
I know. This discussion has made me think I could even rate it higher. Yeah.
Before we go, not only comment down who you think will win, comment down below the fedora, stay or leave. Let us know.
Yes.
Should Dan take it off or should Dan have it on all season in support of Oppenheimer? Let us know in the comments.
I say it stays.
Me too. I say it stays.
Also,
two yes to a no. The strikes.
We stand with the strikes. Yes.
Yes.
Indeed. Pay people livable wages.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Till next time, movie fans.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
This is looking to be a tight one, folks.